With the fourth pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Ezekiel Elliott, Dez Bryant,
Emmitt Smith, running back from Florida.
Pretty much a dream come true for me. I made no secrets about the fact that I would love to play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Dallas Cowboys, it's Jerry Jones. Let's go win the Super Bowl. You're absolutely right.
And on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys,
our Dallas Cowboys select Dak Prescott, quarterback, nice. Mississippi State.
Dak, this Jerry Jones and your Dallas Cowboys.
And there was never a slight doubt in my mind that I wouldn't wear the star for the rest of my life.
Next to man, Micah Parsons. Swarmed by Mr. Everywhere, Micah Parsons.
The three-day NFL Draft is history, and now it's time to take a look ahead to the new season. Welcome to the 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special presented by Ford. I'm Bill Jones here at the Star in Frisco, and over the course of the next hour, we'll break down the Cowboys draft and introduce you to the newest Dallas Cowboys. Plus, we'll hear from Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and head coach Mike McCarthy. How will the Cowboys do in 2021? We're going to explore over the next hour, but lots of drama on the first night of the draft on Thursday night. The Cowboys were on the clock after cornerbacks J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain were off the board, so the Cowboys wheel and deal with the Eagles, no less. Move down 2 spots, pick up another third-round pick, and select Micah Parsons, the 6'3", 246-pound linebacker from Penn State, who might be the most talented defensive player in this draft. Parsons ran a 4.3 640 at his pro day, 14 tackles for loss as a sophomore for the Nittany Lions. Micah Parsons will be joining us right here in studio later on the draft special. Day number 2, the Cowboys take care of their cornerback need in the second round by taking a big, fast, physical corner from Kentucky. Kelvin Joseph had 4 picks last season and matched up against the top receivers in the draft. Kelvin Joseph ran a 4.28 40 at his pro day with a 10.8 broad jump. There is no doubting his explosive athletic traits. 3 picks in the third round on Friday night, and the Cowboys add depth to their defensive line with 2 versatile linemen. Osa Odigizua of UCLA, 6'2", 282, with 34-inch arms to lock up offensive linemen and let linebackers run free. Also, 11.5 career sacks. And Iowa defensive end Chauncey Golston, 6'4", 269, with a 36 vertical. First team All-Big Ten with 5.5 sacks in 8 games last year. Team captain. Golston checks all the team leader boxes. And with the 99th pick on Friday night, the Cowboys select 6'4" cornerback Nashawn Wright of Oregon State. Dan Quinn had a 6'3" cornerback in Seattle by the name of Richard Sherman, who was a 5th-round pick. Maybe he strikes gold again with 6'4" Nashawn Wright. We'll introduce you to the rest of the 2021 Dallas Cowboys draft class later over the course of the next hour. But up next, it's a trip down memory lane, the draft day memories of Tyron Smith and Demarcus Lawrence. The 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T. AT&T is the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford, Texas Ford dealers. Ford, built for you, built for Texas. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome back to the 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special. Over the course of the next hour, we're going to introduce you to the newest Dallas Cowboys. What a draft weekend it has been here at the Star. But we thought we'd take a trip down memory lane to one of the most memorable draft days in Dallas Cowboys history 10 years ago. That's when the Cowboys had the 9th pick in the first round and took an offensive tackle out of USC who was only 20 years old.
The 2011 NFL Draft is officially open.
Well, we had 3, we were talking about tackle. There were 3, it was Tyron and 2 other guys. We were going back and forth. One, it was great college play. One's a right tackle, maybe a left tackle. It was the age. It was all these different things that we went through.
Our scouts, we all loved Tyron. I mean, I remember his parents had like a cleaning business, and when he was a kid, like he had to work. I mean, this guy was helping his family.
They say he's kind of a laid-back, even-keel kid, but he works, he's self-motivated, he's good in conditioning, and they like the kid a lot.
And it goes back to Hudson Houck saying, okay, this guy's big, he's long, he played right tackle in college. We think he can be a left tackle. He was extremely young. The athleticism, he was different.
I think Hud alluded to it. He can lumber at times, but you don't see for a big guy like that, you don't see him off his feet much.
I think we're getting a consensus. Tough, smart. He's a nasty son, but he's tough. That's a harder thing to find, apart from work, practice hard, those kinds of things.
With the 9th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyron Smith, offensive tackle, USC.
Tyron.
Hey, how you doing?
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how excited we are to have you, and you're going to have a hell of a future with the Dallas Cowboys.
Talk to players coming up now. It's amazing to say this about Tyron. He's still young, but the young tackles, they go, well, I watched Tyron Smith. That's one of the guys. So you got a generational player there. So we feel really good about that one.
Well, that draft pick turned out pretty well, and now Tyron Smith at age 30 is the longest tenured player on this Cowboys roster. Fast forward 3 years to 2014, and believe it or not, Demarcus Lawrence is now the oldest player on this Dallas defense, what with the retirements of Tyrone Crawford and Sean Lee this offseason.
With Demarcus, we knew that we needed to get a pass rusher. We loved him. There were some things, the way that he played in college didn't show all of his ability because he played kind of a 4-eye, but he still got production. And then we loved the motor, the toughness, and all that stuff that he brought.
D-Law was like, I think on top of our second round. We was like maybe the 24th or 25th player on the board. I mean, we're sitting there and it's like this guy's like blinking like red light.
But this guy is tough. He's got long arms. He's going to be, a low 4'8" guy.
He's got good height with a lean frame. The thing that this guy really shows is his burst, acceleration. And I got to give this guy credit. He's done a great job of working at his trade, getting better. His flexibility's better now. You see him at the pro day, the combine. He's improved.
I mean, and D-Law was like, he's a junior college guy. He's tough as nails. And we just felt like his length, his hand size, his arms, the production, like this guy is really going to grow into like something special.
The Washington Redskins have traded the 34th pick to the Dallas Cowboys.
With the relationship that Jerry has with Snyder, and it's you don't want to do it, but you're checking the phone to get exactly what you need. We've had a couple trades with division rivals, and it's worked out better for us, we feel like, but it's not something that you normally want to do. We're trying to keep away from the Hatfields and the McCoys.
With the 34th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Demarcus Lawrence, defensive end, Boise State.
You always want more picks. You see what's there. You see how you can improve your team. There's guys you like, but if you get the guy that you want and you had to give something up, oh well, we celebrated a little bit early.
I'd say that was a pretty good draft day trade up in the second round to take Demarcus Lawrence back in 2014. What about this year's draft class? Let's hear from Jerry and Stephen Jones when the Dallas Cowboys draft special continues in a moment.
This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, his makeup, his way he approaches the game was an attention getter. Obviously, physically, he is a freak. And you've heard it and you've said it and you said he really has that. And just my perspective, I wanted a player there that really impacted strategy, that had a way for us to load it up and give just give unique problems because of the nature. So he gives us that kind of upside, and he's got the right approach to making that happen. And I don't envision anything, but and Mike keeps going back to it. We just got better. We might have gotten better just by circumstances than we even could have managed to get better by going with him as opposed to with a corner at this spot.
That's Jerry Jones on the Cowboys' first-round draft pick, Micah Parsons. Welcome back to the Draft Day special. Bill Jones now joined by Stephen Jones. All sorts of Joneses around here.
The Jones boys.
And you just have to love, like Jerry does, what you did in the first round, picking up a guy as talented as Micah Parsons who can come in and make an impact as quickly as you anticipate he will.
Well, no question. And, you know, everybody was kind of scratching their head, couldn't believe there wasn't a pass rusher, you know, in the top 10 picks. But as many people have said about Micah, not only is he a great linebacker, 4-3 type behind the line of scrimmage, there's no doubt in our mind with his length, he's 6'3 plus, 255 pounds, that he can go put his hand in the ground and rush the passer. So between his DPR talents, his will linebacker, of course, his great strength and speed, he's going to make a big difference for us.
You know, and you have proof of that going all the way back to when he was in 8th grade and played on the varsity in Pennsylvania, his high school in Pennsylvania. I think he had 18.5 sacks as a freshman in high school. So, yeah, he can rush the passer. All right, I think a lot of people would love to have been a fly on the wall in that draft room. Every year we'd always love to be a fly on the wall to see, okay, what's going on as you lead up to pick number 10. Okay, so what were you thinking as obviously they're need at cornerback and you had 2 cornerbacks come off the board before you're on the clock?
Well, when Waddle went, we really felt like we had a great shot, you know, that we were going to get one of our players because he was a wild card, and certainly that pushed the Oregon tackle down, and then he was picked, and we only had 2 picks to go, and we knew we had our 2 corners plus Micah. And another player or 2 we really liked that we could have been easily happy with picking, you know, at the top of the draft. So, you know, we were there. We obviously we're thinking about those corners, but they went, and so we zeroed in on Micah, and then the Eagles called, and we had actually had talks with the Eagles 2 or 3 days prior, and they had mentioned that, hey, we're kind of looking at the same player the Giants are looking at. Would you be opposed to moving back if we tell you what side of the ball we're looking at? Because of course they knew we were looking defensive and they were looking offensive. So they made the call, and we decided that it was worth the risk. We had a little bit of risk there with the Giants after they probably were going to lose the receiver they were after. I'm not sure of that, only speculation. But we just decided it was worth the risk to pick up the 3rd round pick, and everybody was for it. And it's nice to have that 3rd round pick, and we still have Micah.
You know what, the other dynamic there, you're talking about division rivals there. And obviously you didn't have a problem dealing with a division rival, and neither did the Eagles there. I guess when you're picking up that 3rd round pick, that helps.
Well, he was either going to go to the Giants or the Eagles because we weren't going to pick him if we picked Micah. And if the Giants didn't pick him, then he was going to fall right to the Eagles. So we knew we were probably going to be seeing him one way or the other, and really just said that shouldn't be a factor in our decision here.
You know, the last game that Micah Parsons played in college was at AT&T Stadium, and what a game he had against Memphis in the Cotton Bowl. What is it that you really love about Micah Parsons the most?
You know, he's got great versatility, but he can do a lot of things here. I mean, this guy obviously, you know, he opted out last year, but in 19 he was all over the place with 100-plus tackles, obviously using his range and speed sideline to sideline. Making all sorts of tackle. His blitzing ability with his 4-3 speed is uncanny. And then, you know, you and I were talking before the show, this guy played defensive end in high school at a high level. And certainly we're convinced he could certainly do the Sam DPR position as well in terms of helping us get pressure on the quarterback. But, you know, he's got freaky athletic traits at the end of the day. And, you know, that's what we're looking for. Great speed, great size, explosion, and making plays on the ball, and he does all the above.
And it's great being in the draft room where everyone's face-to-face with each other, isn't it?
It's great to be back. I mean, really is great to be back. It was another set of challenges this year for Will McClay and our scouts because of the opting out, because of not necessarily being able to go to campus, by not having a live combine where you were able to get your hands on them. Jim Maurer and his staff have worked tirelessly trying to get to the MRIs and get the medical situation worked out. So it's had its own set of challenges. All 32 had them. My hat's off to our staff. I think we've done a great job embracing that it wasn't going to be perfect. But as you said, it's so nice to be back in the room together, and hopefully next year we'll be back to totally normal.
Yeah. All right, Stephen, we appreciate it. And the Draft Day special continues in a moment as we take another trip down memory lane.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special continues now. Bill Jones inside the TV studios here at the Star in Frisco as we wrap up this draft weekend and look ahead to the new season. One of the stars on the Cowboys offense, a guy by the name of Michael Gallup, was a third-round draft pick 3 years ago.
We are on the clock. We're on the clock. Yes, sir. Talk about Gallup.
Yeah, we think he can really compete and start for us. It's hard for a rookie to do it right away, but he'll impact our group, and we need a presence out there that can beat one-on-one coverage.
I think there was some really good depth at the receiver position, so Michael was a guy that kind of stood out through the process. Our area scouts loved him, went to the Senior Bowl, and really just played well. And I think he was the kind of guy that we were interested in.
The Houston Texans select Martinez Rankin, tackle.
Martinez Rankin.
There we go.
We want to fill in Gallup. Take it down to about 20 seconds.
Michael, like I said, it was just the way he played above the rim and just the ball skills and his playmaking ability was something that kind of stood out to us. And I know there's some diva traits in a lot of receivers. I think that's what we just appreciated with him is it wasn't that at all.
I'm here with Jerry Jones, and we are proud to say you are a Dallas Cowboy.
A Dallas Cowboy. Dallas Cowboy.
The Cowboys 81st on the clock. The pick was just handed in a minute ago. So now it's time for the Dallas Cowboys and a special group of folks coming out.
Dallas Cowboys select Michael Gallup, wide receiver, Colorado State.
Michael Gallup, a third-round pick in 2018. You go ahead 1 year to 2019. In the fourth round, the phones were ringing in the draft room here at the Star in Frisco as the Cowboys had their eye on a running back from Memphis, but other teams had their eyes on the Cowboys draft pick at number 128.
This is Jets, guys. Let's see where they are. Cowboys.
Just see if you guys have an interest in coming up from 128 to 121.
Probably not.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Cowboys.
Seeing if you guys might be willing to move from 128
to where?
162 and then get 167 as well.
2 5s.
It's the mastery of the deal. You got to work the phones, know who you're talking to, but when it all goes through Steven and then the translation goes to Jerry. So it's typically when you're trying to get something, you know what you want, you're glad your guy's there. When you talk about it's like a scrum. We're trying to figure out all the details and sort it all out.
Okay, let me take a look at it, and if we get froggy, I'll call you back.
What do you want?
A 4th and 5th to move up.
Now, let's talk about immediate impact on Pollard.
Tony Pollard? Yeah, I like him a lot. He allows you some versatility to do some different things with moving parts. He can line up outside.
Starting kickoff returner, can play all 4 phases. He's a coverage player, can tackle, good speed, great kid.
Let's just do everything we just said with this guy, and he's going to have a great role for us.
Yeah.
Just understand what he is.
That's the fun part. That's the culmination of it all is when you get the player that you wanted is still there, you get him and you get to get him on the phone. That's the cool thing.
Tony?
Yes, sir.
Tony, this is Jerry Jones with the Dallas Cowboys, and Glad to be talking to another Cowboy.
Yes, sir.
With the 128th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tony Pollard, running back, Memphis.
There's nothing like those draft day phone calls. And when we come back here on the Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special, the head coach joins us. And we take a look at this 2021 Dallas Cowboys draft class.
This segment is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. All the flavor you deserve without the sugar. New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
And with the 12th pick in the 2021 the NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Micah Parsons. Woo! Linebacker, Penn State. Yes!
Welcome back to the 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special. Bill Jones now joined in studio by Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. First off, Coach, it's great seeing you in studio. We did the Mike McCarthy Show all season long, and it was a virtual thing, and now here we are really in studio, and it feels good, just like in that draft room. It feels good to be in person, right?
Great air condition, and I always wondered where you were hanging out when I was talking to you the whole last year. So, yes, it's definitely great to be in studio.
Well, let's talk about the first-round draft pick, Micah Parsons. And, of course, Micah Parsons out of Penn State, the 12th pick in the first round, made the tour of the Star on Friday. We had an opportunity to talk with him. I'm very impressed with this young man.
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously, his football playing ability is going to be impactful for our football team. But just as you and I were talking before the show, he's got a great, dry sense of humor, and just enjoyed my time with him and his family so far.
Yeah, and you could see it in the press conference, even teasing the owner at times during the press conference.
They hit it off really well.
Yeah, well, okay, let's talk about Micah Parsons as a football player and how much of an impact you can make right off the bat. Of course, when you're picking with the 10th or 12th pick in the draft, you're looking for that impact player, and he fills the bill, doesn't he?
Well, I think the key word there, Bill, is impact. I mean, and when you have an impact player, it's our job as coaches to create opportunities. And that's really has been a discussion since the selection. Dan Quinn and the defensive staff, frankly, met Friday morning and just says, as we're teaching our defense in an install phase, we just went through 2 installations. Now where does he fit into the base stuff, and just to make sure we have the proper packages, because he has to be part of, a big part of what we're doing moving forward.
Yeah, and especially when what you have your inventory at the linebacker position to begin with Jalen and Leighton. But when you look at his skill set, he is so versatile in so many ways. I mean, you even go back, you can look at his high school tape and see what he can do as an edge rusher and a running back, and that athleticism. You can use it in so many ways, can't you?
Definitely. I think when you evaluate that position, it's it's on the ball and off the ball ability. His ability to play moving forward, playing horizontally, and obviously playing vertically in the passing game. So he can do all that. So I think with that, schematically, it gives you a chance to create location challenges for the offense. I mean, targeting issues for the offense, because he's a dynamic pressure player. So when the offense is studying our defense, their protection adjustment meeting is going to be about where's number 11. So that in itself has great value, because that helps the other players around him. So and his ability to match up with backs, tight ends, you see that on his video, and the fact that he hasn't played a year. He was in California working out with a great group of players and prospects. So it'll be exciting to get him on the field.
Boy, that game, his last college game at Penn State, I don't know that you can have a more dominant defensive performance than he did at the Cotton Bowl at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't see the game as a whole, but it was all part of the cut-ups and his videos. So yeah, it's very blessed to have the opportunity to bring him to Dallas.
The other thing that I was struck by with him, he has a certain air of confidence about him, and that sort of thing can be contagious in the locker room, can't it?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's an alpha, and he comes from Penn State, and that's important to him. It's linebacker U and the history and tradition of that. So his connection, he talked about Sean Lee, he talked about LeVar Arrington. So I always find that very important. He's very proud where he came from. You don't have to spend 5 minutes with him and his family to see the closeness of all that. So those are all strong characteristics, and that's what he brings to our locker room.
Let's talk about the bigger picture a little bit. You mentioned Sean Lee, and earlier in the week, this week started with Sean Lee announcing his retirement. The impact that he has made on this team and in this community has been tremendous over the last 11 years.
No doubt. I mean, I had the privilege of just working with Sean, this past year, and but always admired him from afar. Passion, wears it on his sleeve. I think that's the best description of him, and he's the same person every day, and that's so important. I mean, just the energy that he brings to the workplace, obviously the expertise and experience. He's a great example of passing it forward to the younger players, something I'm a big believer in. You have to have it in your group dynamics, and Sean Lee has created a standard of that we will follow.
I could see Sean Lee mentoring Micah Parsons, even if he's on the beach in California, he'll be mentoring Micah with that Penn State connection there. Otherwise, as far as this offseason, going into this draft, I felt like in free agency, especially on the defensive side of the ball with the 6 free agents that you signed, you took care of some immediate needs that put you in a position where you didn't have to reach on need in the draft. How excited are you about these veteran guys that are coming in and have already fit into your offseason program?
Oh, extremely excited. You talked about the linebacker position. Keanu is someone that's going to be an impact player also at the second level of our defense. So in that whole group of defensive linemen too, they've come in, they fit right in, they're here for the workouts, the part of the virtual meetings. So those guys are off to a great start. I say this every time I talk about it because it's so true. We have a great vibe going on right here, and it's just a tribute to our players and their commitment, and it's it's been going on now for a while. So I'm really excited about the start of our offseason program.
Well, and we'll be excited for the start of training camp and the start of the season. The schedule coming out next month. It's going to be here before you know it. Don't you know it, Coach?
It will be. I just like to know what it is.
That's right.
Or where training camp is going to be. So.
And then get that team on the field for OTAs and everything. We'll see what happens.
First things first. Let's get the OTAs. That'd be awesome.
There you go. All right, Coach, we appreciate it. And up next here on the Draft Show, we take a trip down memory lane. That 2016 draft class was pretty special.
This segment was brought to you by Dr. Pepper. All the flavor you deserve without the sugar. New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. This segment is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special. I'm Bill Jones inside the TV studios here at the Star in Frisco as we continue our trip down Draft Day memory lane. Rob Phillips gives us a look back at 5 years ago, what was a pretty good draft class in 2016.
This is a kid who was a flat-out athlete, all right? And I will say it, I've said it before. I thought maybe he might not be a quarterback in the NFL 2 years ago, but he improved as much as any senior quarterback.
There's a domino effect to the NFL draft. A team's needs and fortunes can shift dramatically based on past decisions, past misfortunes. Take 2016, for example. That's the year Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott were drafted. They are now the face of the Dallas Cowboys. But would either player have worn the star if not for a former Cowboy, DeMarco Murray? Allow me to explain. In 2014, Murray led the NFL in rushing and led the Cowboys to the brink of the NFC title game. That offseason, he became a free agent. Dallas had a decision to make.
We loved DeMarco at that time, and had done great things for us. And so what we were trying to do was play. You got to try and play the market. The running back position at that point in time wasn't getting paid that much, and we thought that we'd be able to get him back at the right price, something that was good for us. Somebody stepped out and paid him.
That somebody was division rival Philadelphia.
I'm excited about the future, and I'm definitely ready to get started.
It was a major blow to the Cowboys roster. They would endure more setbacks over the next year. The bright side, Dallas received the 4th pick in the 2016 draft.
And we're on the clock.
We're on the clock. With Murray gone, they needed a running back.
Get him on the phone.
1 minute.
Coach Colin, get him on the phone.
The best on the board, Elliott out of Ohio State.
With the 4th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Ezekiel Elliott, running back, Ohio State.
Zeke, for a top 5 pick, he could do it all. I mean, he could play all 3 downs. He could block, he could catch, he could run routes, he could run inside, outside. He's nasty. I mean, he had it all.
The Cowboys believed Elliott would help their offense and their defense by grinding out yards and time of possession. With 2 rushing titles in 5 years, that has proven true. There was one more domino to fall after Murray's departure. Because the Cowboys lost a Pro Bowl player to free agency, the NFL gave them a compensatory draft pick at the end of the 4th round. Pick number 135.
Dak is a little bit boom. There he is. Boom.
Okay. Rather than Doc.
Now, if you looked at Troy Aikman coming out of school, he probably did the same thing. Look at it, verify it. Okay. John Elway, there's a whole history of these guys have done this.
Another need was quarterback depth, given Romo's age and his injury history. And because of their 4-12 record, the Cowboys got an up-close look at Prescott while coaching the 2016 Senior Bowl. Lightly recruited out of high school, Prescott became an All-American at Mississippi State, leading the Bulldogs to their first #1 ranking in school history.
When it's the hardest position to play, and from a physical standpoint, but also getting people to play with you and for you, and being able to motivate and do all those things, and to do it at such a high level, that's the impressive part. I mean, those things added into who Dak Prescott was. We didn't even know it as much as we do now because you see that effect, but you saw it happening, and that was part of the evaluation on it.
Luck, yes, that's part of the domino effect in the NFL draft, but the Cowboys also have a strong track record of drafting. 7 of their last 11 first-round picks, including Ezekiel Elliott, have been to a Pro Bowl. And of course, Dak Prescott, a multi-time Pro Bowler himself. For DallasCowboys.com, I'm Rob Phillips.
The 2016 draft class set the bar high for the current draftees of your Dallas Cowboys, and we meet the newest Dallas Cowboys when the Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ford, Texas Ford Dealers, F-Series, the best-selling truck for 44 years. Ford is the best in Texas.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
This is Jerry Jones, and I'm calling you to tell you we're turning your card in. You're a Cowboy.
Yeah, this is all I ever wanted, man.
You don't think it's too big for you to be a Cowboy, do you?
Nah, not at all.
Hey, well, listen, we've sure enjoyed watching how you have progressed in your career, and you had great support in this room. So we're proud to get you. Coach Quinn's smiling from ear to ear. He's here smiling, got his thumb up. He's your defensive coordinator. Then I'm going to hand you over to our head coach.
Micah, congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, linebacker, you got to keep the tradition going.
Hey, I said I was coming. Y'all saw it. I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, from one PA guy to another. I'm looking forward to getting you down there. You're a great fit for us, young man.
I'm looking to come. Let's get to work right now.
Yeah, will do. Hey, enjoy this time. Enjoy this moment with your family. Congratulations.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, Micah. God bless you.
Welcome back to the 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special. Bill Jones now joined by Cowboys first-round draft pick Micah Parsons. And yes, we heard the secret audio, the phone call, when you got the call as you were in Cleveland. Now, here we are a day later, and you're roaming around the Star in Frisco. Is this still sort of surreal to you that you're a Dallas Cowboy?
Yeah, I'm still in my goosebump stages, man. I'm still in my jitters. I'm still a little nervous and on edge. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've never been in a place like so beautifully built like this before.
Yeah. So what was that moment like as you're waiting there in the green room and with your family, and you get that phone call and it says the Star?
It was crazy because because I kept getting random people kept calling me. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, bro, this is not it. And I saw the Star, and I was like, oh, this is it. And I answered it, and the first person was Rich. And then he passed to Jay. He's like, hello, Micah, and he said in that little raspy, older voice, we're so glad to make you a part of this team and things like that. And I was like,
And then you tackled the commissioner.
Yeah, well, that was pre-planned. That was pre-planned. That's why I said, you ready? Because we already pre-practiced that.
All right, so now that you walk, and this isn't your first time to be at the Star, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you were here for the Nike opening a few years ago, and then when Penn State played in the Cotton Bowl, you took the tour here as well. Your last college game at Penn State was at the Cotton Bowl at AT&T Stadium, and you had a premonition at that point that maybe you might be a Dallas Cowboy, right?
Yep.
So tell us that story.
So basically, after that game, it was like all green. I had good projections and things like that, and that's when COVID struck, and and then Dallas, and then Dak got hurt throughout the season, so they started losing. And way back then, it was like, where do you want to go? And I saw like defense was there, and I was like, it'd be great if I started where I finished. And so when I got, the Cowboys was like the first team on mine, and I kept telling my friends and family, I was like, if I can, I'm going to the Cowboys. And I kept pointing into the air and pointing to the air. So when I really got the Star, I said, that's why I said, if anything's real, God is real, because I prayed that I'd come here.
And your mom and dad are Cowboy fans?
Yes.
How does that happen in Pennsylvania?
I have no idea. But it's America's team, though.
That's exactly right. That's right. Even in Eagles country or Steelers country,
exactly.
It's America's team. And you have a 3-year-old son. I was listening to an interview from your uncle, and he said that when you were 3 years old, you had this dream of playing in the National Football League. That's something that you told him. When you look at your 3-year-old son, who turns 3, by the way, this weekend, this is a pretty special birthday celebration for him to come to the Star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He doesn't even realize it yet, though, so it's okay.
How has he kind of changed your life over the last 3 years?
Now that I got a thing for 2, it's really changed my life. And I want to give him the opportunities and the blessings that, I may not have or took advantage of, my time growing up. So to give him a better education, better football opportunities, or whatever sport he chooses, I want to give him the best of everything and not hold him back and want him to be successful. So, I kind of just think for 2, and, I want to provide him for opportunities, and then he takes advantage of his opportunities and provide future generations. When you get into the NFL, you got a chance to break generational curses, and that's why it was important for me to graduate from Penn State, and, I hope he graduates from school and becomes successful too.
Now, this guy, linebacker at Penn State, but you were a defensive end in high school, and you were a running back. Does Zeke know what you were as a running back in high school? Has he been informed of your prowess as a running back?
I don't know, so he better bring his A game and not bring no weak moves, because I'm going to know him. If he do, I'm going to know him.
How do you envision your impact? You've had a chance to meet with Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator. What do you envision your rookie year in the NFL?
Playing a little bit Mike Will. I know they said they like playing a lot in nickel because a lot of people play more 11 personnel. So, just envision myself playing that Mike Will role in the nickel. Not really mattering where I'm at, and, obviously trying to learn early on and growing into hopefully a starting linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys.
And you look very natural in that Cowboys blue, just like Penn State blue.
I like it.
You like it, huh?
I do.
All right. Well, welcome to the Star in Frisco, and for many years to come. Sean Lee was a pretty good linebacker out of Penn State, maybe 11 years like Sean Lee had here.
I think it's a beautiful story. I think it's the circle of life. As one dies, another one blooms.
That's right.
So hopefully I live up to his expectations and, the standard he set here.
Yeah, and pick his brain, too.
Oh, I will, trust me.
All right, Micah Parsons, Cowboys' first-round draft pick. And when we come back, we'll introduce you to the rest of this draft class.
This segment was brought to you by Ford, Texas Ford Dealers, F-Series, the best-selling truck for 44 years. Ford is the best in Texas.
Hello?
This is Will McClay with the Cowboys. I got somebody who wants to talk to you, man.
This is Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys.
How's it going, Jerry?
We're turning your card in. You're going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Yes, sir. Let's go. A Cowboy? That'll be great. That'll be great. Yes! Yes! Let's go. Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. You won't regret it, I promise you. Oh, yes, sir. Just know you got the best corner coming in.
Thank you, man.
I can't tell you how excited we are to have this opportunity to bring you here. Enjoy.
Can't wait to be there. Thank you, Coach. I'm ready to get down there and get to work. I'm ready to go.
Are you excited?
Oh, my God. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to go to work, Coach.
Well, hey, man, I just want you to come in here and be yourself. It's a great fit. We're gonna coach you like hell, and you're going to be part of a championship football team.
Nothing like the emotions of draft day as Jerry Jones makes the call to the newest Dallas Cowboys. Let's take a look at what the Cowboys did on day 3, starting in the 4th round with Jabril Cox, a nice linebacker from LSU, and also Josh Ball, offensive lineman from Marshall. Then in round 5, a wide receiver, Simi Fehoko from Stanford. 2 picks in round 6, Kentucky's Quentin Bohannon, a big nose tackle first, and then a 6'4" cornerback, another one in Israel Mukuamu. And then rounding it out with the Nebraska offensive lineman, Matt Farniok. And there it is, day 3 of the Cowboys draft. Of course, Micah Parsons, the number 1 pick, and it will be very interesting to see how these guys blend in with the Dallas Cowboys. We appreciate you joining us here for the Dallas Cowboys Draft Special.
The 2021 Dallas Cowboys Miller Lite Draft Special, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T. AT&T is the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford, Texas Ford dealers. Ford, built for you, built for Texas. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.